Hey guys, Jim Bounds, Motorhome Rehab Ranch, and I am off the road. My hat's get wore out. I have to do something about that, maybe glue it. Yeah, we were on the road. We drove from Texas to Virginia. New owner showed him about the coach, and something that I've learned after this is the fourth move we've done. Something I've learned about this is that when you guys buy one of these things, man, electrically speaking, there is a minimum that you've got to have in your head to pick up one of these things to get it safe, at least to get home. Okay. And through four of these, taking four people up to speed about what this motorhome is, let me show you some things I've learned. And for you electrical guys that have been into this, this could pull your hair out because we need to get the guys that are not sure, the ones that are not confident with their abilities in 12 volts, to get that minimum confidence level. This is, guys, I really feel this is just so important. Okay, so what I want to do here today is I want to talk about some minimum things that when you look at one of these coaches that you see, that you understand. Okay, all right, so when you lift up the front hood of the coach, you should see something that looks like that. That right there. And it'll be upside down. This will be on the top. But that is the battery boost solenoid. Okay? Battery boost solenoid. Now, you can see here, just a cross section of Amazon, they can go from $80 to $20. And honestly, this one actually read that it holds 300 amps, so it has better specs than this. So which one to buy, I can't tell you that. All right, they're just all over the place. But if you get in yours and it has something that looks like this, looks like that, black case, again with copper lugs sticking out each side, and two terminals here, just like the other one. This is not correct. You cannot have this in there. It will not work. How many other ways do I need to say it? It is not the same as this unit. It is not the same. And if somebody along the last 50 years has put one of the Ford starter solenoids in there, you need to go up to Napa, because I know they've got them. Other auto parts might too. And you show them a picture of that. Tell them you want that battery boost solenoid. These pictures will be at the bottom of the video. But you tell them you want one of those, and you replace that thing. And actually, what's happened over the years, somebody that they tried their best, okay, and chances are all the terminals are in the right place. It's just the wrong solenoid, okay. So please, if you lift your hood up and you see that, before you do anything else to make sure it's going to work, you need to replace that. Now, if you're just pulling it out of the weeds and trying to get it out of there, the battery boost circuit on the dash won't work. Okay, it won't work at all. But as soon as you can, you need to replace this, because on this solenoid, on the battery boost solenoid, one side of it is your engine electrical system. The other side is your living electrical system. Your motorhome has two complete 12-volt electrical systems. You have one, the engine, okay? Just like a car, just like a car. And then you have one, usually it originally was in the back next to the generator, okay? Over the last 50 years, actually when it came into our shop, we would try to move it up front, okay? But you'll be a second battery, okay? So you'll have two batteries because you have two separate circuits. Now, the engine battery. The ground on the engine battery, the negative, needs to go directly to the side of the motor. There is a terminal on the side of the motor, and the negative terminal needs to go directly to that. Now, there'll be a smaller wire coming off of it. It's a 2-gauge wire now. If it's a 4-gauge, I'd get it safe, but I would change it. Always 2-gauge wire. There's a smaller, maybe a 10 or a 12-gauge wire that comes off, and it connects to the firewall. There's a silver plate. Let's see. Let me show you. Yeah, this silver plate right here under your front hood. Okay, so one of the grounds will go to this silver plate somewhere, and the other ground will go to your motor. Okay, now the coach battery, sometimes they're up front. Originally they were in the back. This battery is grounded to the body. There is a terminal right next to the battery where you ground that. Let's see if I took a picture of that. Not yet. Yeah, not yet. All right. So it has a ground either in the front on the frame or in the back on the body. The grounds are very, very important. Now, all the wires you see are hots. You don't notice the grounds. So I want to look at the grounds first. So this engine battery is grounded over here. The positive of the battery, again, over 50 years, you never know what somebody did. But it will end up, the positive terminal will end up here. This is your boost solenoid. This is what I showed you on the picture. The right-hand side of this thing, this boost solenoid, is your engine battery. This is your voltage test point. So when you take your voltmeter, you set it on DC 20 volts. Your black goes to ground, your positive goes right there. And that's when you should see your battery. Whatever the battery is. If you want to test your meter, go to the battery first. Go negative and positives, check it right at the battery, and then check it right there to be sure that it's the same. Okay? Now, this is your main test point. Off of here, you'll have a big 2-gauge wire that goes directly to the motor. Directly to the starter. That's the highest current drain in the 12-volt system, and it comes directly off of the battery and directly to the starter. It's a 2-gauge cable. You want to look along this cable, be sure it's not pinched, it's not corroded. There is a clamp, at least one clamp, if not more, holding this thing from flopping around. Be sure that it's not corroded there. Make sure that it's tight to the starter. It's got a large terminal. You should have a 2-gauge wire from here to the starter on the motor. Very important. Now, right up here at the top of the, hang on. Come on. My fingers are too big. Right up here on this aluminum plate is a vehicle battery positive. And it's a terminal right there. Vehicle battery positive right there. This is that. Now, if you look at that, you will see not a 2-gauge, but a 4-gauge, about a 4-inch wire that goes right over to that. So this vehicle battery positive terminal, rather than rooting around and find this, This is your test point on your battery because it comes right off of here. Vehicle battery positive, right there. You need to get power to the vehicle battery positive to move. Okay? Now, coming right off the side of the vehicle battery positive, right there, that one wire right there, it's a small black wire, okay? And it goes to the horn relay. Now, I'm explaining this as you were lifting up that hood and you're looking at something. The horn relay is right there. Here's your vehicle battery positive. And immediately to the right of the vehicle battery positive, this is the horn relay. Right on the front of the horn relay, come on. Right in front of the horn relay is a terminal. And a little black cover right there. It's amazing. There may be parts on that coach that are falling off, but that little cover will always be there. It's amazing. Anyway, pop it off. You will see this wire going from the vehicle battery positive to that terminal. This terminal is that one right there. Okay? This is a small black wire. Now, if you go to the motorhome and you check the battery and it's in there, but nothing works. Turn the headlights on. Nothing works. This terminal right here, as you see, here's your power, goes to here. Coming off of here is that small black wire going to the horn relay. Now this horn relay has 3 wires on it. One is this feed. One goes directly to the fuse box that's in your glove box. And the other one goes directly to your headlights. The headlight circuit does not go through the glove box, fuse box at all. It's its own direct circuit, and it feeds right off of this terminal. Now, you go to the coach and nothing works. What that means is this fuse link. Now, what's a fuse link? It looks like just a little skinny black wire. It looks like just a little skinny black wire. But what it really is a resistor wire that at about 65 amps of current through, it gets hot. And if you have a short or something, it'll open. It's like a fuse. But it's unlike a fuse in that it will handle a little bit of abuse before it heats up and pops. Okay? So there was some confusion about that on Facebook on a thread. I suggested to take that out and to put in a fuse. People had different problems, different blah, blah, blah. The thing I'm interested in is if that thing goes out, 1, you know about it, and 2, you can do something about it. So I take that out and I put in a heavy gauge fuse holder with a 40 amp fuse in and have extra 40 amp fuses. Why? You're driving down the road and there is a surge of some sort. Say the AC compressor comes on at the same time, the headlights go bright, and there's a surge. It'll pop a fuse, it's true. But if you take the air ride control, which is more than half of the current, and has its own circuit. Now, I did a video about this, so I'm not going to repeat it, so I want you to go back to the video. But if you if you take the air ride control off of the fuse link that was replaced by a 40 amp fuse, it will not blow. You'll have 2 circuits, and if something goes out, you can look at the fuse, examine the problem, put a new fuse in it, and if it was a small problem of a surge or something, the fuse will come back and you can run again. I'm interested in fixing it on the road. Now, if you're in the other camp, that's okay. That's why we live in America. We don't have to do everything the same. We don't have to kill each other. If that's true, you need to carry another one of these fuse links. Where to get them, I have no idea. I don't, because I always put a fuse in. Always. So if someone is telling you to only use a fuse link, find out where to get them. Do what they say. Fuse link will not hurt as long as you can replace it in the middle of nowhere. And as long as you can find it, if that's the problem in the middle of nowhere, that's fine. I want to clear that up for you because I know it's a little bit confusing. I agree with the gurus. Fuse link, but it's safer, easier to maintain, easier to service if you can see what's going on. Okay, moving on. Vehicle battery positive right here. This is your test circuit. Now, coming off of the vehicle battery positive, you will find a wire that goes over this blue fin thing right here. This is called the battery isolator. And you'll have a wire coming off the vehicle battery positive and go into one of either this one or that one of that. This distributes, look at it as a one-way check valve or a distributor, because coming off of here, the middle one, this goes to the alternator. So when the engine is running, the alternator is creating voltage, feeds it to this one. Now right here is a check valve. Okay? It will allow voltage to flow this way, which would flow it to the battery, but it would not allow the current to flow backwards. You say, why? Because coming off of here, this side, remember there's 3 terminals, 1, 2, 3. Off the top one is going to go right here to the boost solenoid. And you say, why is that? Because this side of the boost solenoid is your engine electrical system. This side is your living area electrical system. And when I say living area electrical system, it would be hooked up to originally the battery in the back. There would be a 2-gauge wire coming off of here going straight down, and it goes across the front cross member and back up into the body. Now, if you have this, 73s and 74s will not, but after 75 and after, you will have a 2-gauge wire right here. If you do, look at the condition of the insulator, because there are metal clamps that hold this thing down. There is no protection on the insulation on this 2-gauge cable. And if it shorts out right here, anywhere along here, you got a smoke test. It's kind of odd because GM did put a sleeve on it, split loom, when it goes up into the coach. Okay? But from here down, there is no protection to that cable. So what I want you to do is pick up the front hood and look straight down at the cross member. And bolted to that cross member, you will see this cable. If you find that it's corroded or looks bad, okay, get a piece of 3/4-inch heater hose, black rubber heater hose. Take all these clamps loose, take the cable from outside of, put the clamp back down, but take the cable off of each one of those clamps. Take that 3/4-inch heater hose and wrap that cable with the heater hose. That's a really good insulator. Okay, that thing's been 50 years right out there in the open, right behind the grill. It can't be in very good shape. And matter of fact, if it's so bad, what you want to do is put a terminal up here, just like your vehicle battery positive. Take the wire and just terminal it right there and put a new cable all the way. Okay, because this thing might be in really, really bad shape. If it's in enough shape that you feel you can use it, but it's cracked, you put the heater hose on there all the way up, and then tie wrap it to those cable clamps that run across the front. You'll tie wrap the heater hose with the wire in it across there. That way it's insulated, it's protected, and you can continue to use it. Okay. I feel this is one of the first things you need to do when you go to a coach. Lift the hoods and look down at this. I've seen meltdowns from this. It's not like somebody didn't pay attention to it, because who has a cable running? Who has a 2-gauge cable with metal clamps on it running across the front of their vehicle? No one. But you may. Okay, so I want you to really look at that. All right. This is where we all hook up. This is where you check your engine electrical system. This is where you check your living area electrical system. You can come over here. This is the same electrically as this. When I say electrically, no matter where you check along that line, it should be the same voltage. You should have fully charged battery is 12.65 volts. A battery with what they call a top charge is 13.1. If a fully charged battery, you should read 12.65 volts here. A discharged battery, if you're anywhere below 11.5 or 11 volts, that's a discharged battery. You shouldn't use it. 12.1 is usually where a battery will stay. And those little points, you say, well, it's only 0.4 of a volt off. No, that shows you the condition of that battery. It's really, really important. All right. So we're going to do this in several episodes. And what I want to do on this is I'm going to do the second episode tomorrow. So I want to spit this out. I don't want to linger this for a couple of months, because this is really important stuff. So tomorrow, I want you to come back tomorrow evening, and I'll have episode 2 of this. But what I want you to take away on this is your test point right here. Make sure your grounds are all good. Make sure this hot wire is protected. Find these components. Find your battery isolator. Find your horn relay. Right above that, it looks just like it. This is a blower relay. We'll get into that. Find your vehicle battery positive. Find the boost solenoid. Be sure that your boost solenoid is the right one. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Hit like and all that kind of stuff. Thank you, ranch hands. We're going to get this out quick because I feel it's that important. See you tomorrow.